Welcome to Featured Films, everybody. My name is Joe. Today's going to be a little bit different. Typically I do movie reviews or TV show reviews and tell you, the pros and cons of that, and then recommend if, you should see it, wait to see it, not bother at all. But today, I did a little bit of an experiment with my YouTube channel. I decided to try to take one of my videos and use YouTube's promote function to actually advertise on YouTube and see if I can get more views and subscribers from it. And as a small YouTube channel, I wanted to share what I found, and maybe go over some interesting things that are there, show you the numbers. I'm going to be very transparent on this, so maybe you guys can take something from this, learn from it, maybe use the same thing or improve upon it to help your channels grow, get more views, get more subscribers, and cross that threshold of the 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, so that way you can get monetized and then keep growing from there. All right, let's get into this here. Okay, so first off, here's my channel. We've got all my videos and everything here. As you can see, pretty much they all get around 100 views or so. Views still kind of trickle in and everything. But there's this outlier here, this one, my Birds of Prey spoiler-free review. It has 822 reviews. And, definitely looking at all the others, you'd be like, wow, how did that one do so good? Well, I took that one, I did an ad on Google ads or with YouTube, which you do if you go to the three little dots by hovering over here. You click on this drop down, you'll see this little guy here that says promote. If you click on that, it's going to pop up and tell you to create an ad. You would click get started. You'll end up going through the process. It'll have you sign up and create an account if you don't have one. Usually it'll just use your Google account. Now, as you can see, this is kind of loading up. Okay, here we go. Well, it just popped up my campaign instead of setting up a new one. So let's see if we can we'll do it on a different one. Get started. Alright, yeah, it looks like it's going to load this time. Alright, so for this, if we were going to do a new ad with Sonic the Hedgehog, it shows you which video. Here you'd put the campaign name. So we'll just call this Sonic. And then down here, you've got how you would want it to show up. You can do this to where it's automatically played beforehand. That's little skippable ads. Here's a little preview, show you what it looks like on mobile. Here's what it would look like on desktop. Or if you go here and click on this, this is the one I did, it puts a little thumbnail over here in the suggested videos and put your ad there on people's, and if it just pops up, that's an impression. If they actually click on it, you'll get a view from it. This is how it would look like in mobile. Now, you would come down here, you would put the title, you'd put Sonic. Okay. And then you just put this. Okay. Now, the headline would pop up here. It would say, your whatever you put there. So you can actually change it from your video title. So as you see here, it says Sonic the Hedgehog spoiler-free review by Featured Films. But I put in the headline of Sonic the Hedgehog, and it would change it there. Now you could put this and make it, something kind of clickbaity if you want, or you would just put why was Sonic the Hedgehog so bad? Which I don't think it was, but definitely clickbaity would get people. Description 1, it actually puts the first line of the description here where it says add feature films, and then description 2 is right below that. All right. Now, once you do that, you would click continue, and it gives you all kinds of different stuff you can do here, which is, this is kind of where you would kind of make or break your ad. You would put in a city, zip code, state, country, whatever that you want the ad to show in. So I would just type in United States. Click that, and as you can see, the United States is highlighted here on the map, and so the ad would run in the United States. If I wanted it to go run in Canada, and let's put, I don't know, China. So it will advertise this ad all there. Which is, I mean, you can put in pretty much everywhere. I spread out mine originally for the Birds of Prey video to show in multiple countries in Europe, China, the US, Canada, South America. Like, I had it spread all over. So basically, all throughout the day, the ad would be playing, no matter, if it was nighttime, morning, wherever. If people were asleep, in some other part of the world, someone would be getting advertised to. Then, what languages do you speak? Put in English, and then you can select other languages if you want to be like, oh, they would know, French and Chinese, and then because those are languages in Canada or in China. Click continue. Kind of brings this down. This also changes things up. Now, gender I left alone just because if you leave it as unknown, basically that will advertise to people who may not necessarily be logged in, and Google doesn't have their information for, so they don't know if they're male or female. Same with the age. Now with the age, I did uncheck 65 plus and 55 to 64 just because those are incredibly small markets on YouTube, and I didn't want to have my video advertising there. Same with parental status, not a parent, parent or unknown. And then for this, I kept it customer intent as broad as possible. Now, if your video, you're advertising phones, right? This is where you would keep it here, and you would just look for people who would be buying, like consumer electronics. And you would look through here, you would mobile phone accessories, mobile phones, things like that. And then you would just come down here, you would click continue. And then as you can see, it says that's, who it's going to advertise to. Again, I kept it broad so that way if Google doesn't have information on people, it'll still advertise to them. Now, daily budget. This is where it gets, interesting. So I did a daily budget of $2, and I'm going to show you here in a moment what those numbers gave me. One thing I did do is I ran the ad for 5 days, so a total of $10, and then I also used a Google ad promotion they have going on where you can put in this code. It will, once you're creating the campaign and put in all your information, then YouTube would actually match what you put in for your your budget up to $150. So I put in $2 to have it run for 5 days to get a good sample size of how this would work across about a week, and then I had that budget, so it actually doubled it to basically make it $20, even though I only paid $10. Now, let's see here. Let's go back, and let's check out the actual numbers. All right. Pop this up, and as you can see, there's a huge spike. And then so, right here, it's kind of growing, getting these views and everything. This is, day 1 and 2 now here. And then, just 50, 60 views. We're in day 3, and it's just growing kind of naturally. I'm posting on Facebook, Reddit, sharing to friends, everywhere I can post it, Twitter. And then I decided I'm going to try this experiment. And I put in the ad, and the ad has to go through a review process. Google reviews it. And then, so they reviewed it, and then they finally got back. And then right here is where they approved it. And it was at 106 views at 3:19 p.m. All of a sudden, once it's approved, boom, 1 hour later, 157. It got 51 more views in an hour. It skyrocketed. And it just kept going. I was watching this and just freaking out. Now, I hadn't had any numbers yet at this point to see how well it was doing, how much view time, retention, things like that. But I was just looking at this going, wow, and I'm seeing all these numbers. It's just getting higher and higher and higher and higher. And then right about here is where it kind of starts plateauing. Right in here, actually, on about Wednesday, is where I got a message on my Google Ads campaign to up the budget. And if I up the budget, it would lead to more views. I didn't update or change the budget. And so as you can see, it just kind of becomes this natural arc here and eventually tapers out. Now, this is, let's see here. I stopped it Saturday, right here at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was doing stuff on Saturday. I didn't want to go over my time, so I stopped it then. And as you can see, it just kind of plateaus out. Currently, we've got 821 views, or 822. I believe it just hasn't updated. But as you can see, we went from 106 to 820 views. And I mean, that's, 714 views in a week, which is phenomenal. That's a lot of views, especially for me, for my channel, because I'm so small. I've got, I just crossed 200 subscribers. So let's look here. Audience retention. It was not good. People were watching, and then, right here, it gets to 7 seconds. That's about where my intro starts playing. And apparently my intro lost people. Because, I had people who click and then were not excited. And so over half of them were gone within the first 7 seconds. And then, let's see here. My intro's over right about here. And we're down to 23%. So I lost 75% or more in, my intro by the time my intro had ended. And then here it just kind of plays out, and it keeps going and going and going, and it's definitely not good. I got a total about average of 47 seconds average, which is not great. So we got that. You can see the spikes in the views and everything, which is pretty cool. Here it tells you how many views came from the advertising, which was 88.9. So still got about 11% of my views from, just other areas, posting on Facebook and things. And let's see. So here it's telling you 454 impressions, which, let's see here. We'll do this. Still the same thing if you go to lifetime. It doesn't give you the impressions that you get from the ad, which is a little bit of a bummer. But 8.4% impression click-through rate, which is pretty solid for this. But let's go into the ad and see what we've got here. All right. Now, we've got this. Starts out at 0. Again, started on Monday. Boom. Immediately, day 1, we had almost 20,000 impressions, which led to 139 views. Pretty good. The click-through rate isn't great, though. Again, a lot of people don't like clicking on ads, but, I mean, it's extra, viewers, it's extra people seeing my videos. That's 20,000 possible people seeing it. So I've got to work on, one, my, recognizability, people seeing it's me. So I just got to kind of grow my own personal brand, but also the ability for my thumbnail to draw people in. There's a lot of potential there, so I got to work on that. And then the views we get there, this is telling you your average value per click. And then let's see here. Yeah, day 2, almost 30,000, or a little over 30,000 impressions, 200 views. I mean, these numbers are crazy to look at, especially as a small YouTuber. But there are some useful things in here. But this is about how much is spent advertising to people on cell phones. Here's tablets. So just mobile. I spent it was almost a total of, $18.50. And then a little bit here for computers, and then, they break it down otherwise. Impressions, got 70,000 on mobile, 15,000 from tablets, about 500 from computers. And then we had TV screens, so like smartphones or smart TVs. Then we have mobile phones. Again, this is the views. So I got 551 from mobile, 171 from tablets, and 3 from computers. And then this is super helpful. Breaks down the gender and age. If I go just gender, I had a lot more male viewers, 290, as opposed to female, 184. Obviously, the rest were unknown. So that's what I mean by leave it unknown, because you'll still get a lot of views. Those people won't necessarily be signed in, but they'll still see your information. Now, one thing I may change up is to make sure that if I uncheck that unknown, to make sure they are signed in, because then if they're signed in, Google will know if they're male or female, so that will be more likely they're logged in and more likely that they are to subscribe. So that's something I'm going to look at, but I still got views from this. Now, let's go to age. Breaks down the age demographics. Like these, again, I blocked out 55 to 64 and 65 plus. And this is why, again, 18 to 24 was my largest poll of views. Then 25 to 34 had 111, 125 from 35 to 44, and 51. This kind of carries through. These, older markets are pretty small. And for what I'm doing, I don't think that it would necessarily cater to them. So I wanted to kind of limit my advertising, and I kept 45 to 54 in case there's like older parents or things, or maybe people that were just interested in seeing something, especially maybe nerdier men, because I advertised Birds of Prey, so I thought maybe they would want to go see a comic book movie. But then let's kind of see the overlap here. So again, men 18 to 24, 106 views in just that section, which is a lot. And I mean, it's kind of astounding. So if I were to do this and I wanted to focus on people where I was getting more of most of my views and things, I would kind of limit it down. I may cut out this 45 to 54 bracket, and I wouldn't want to cut out women altogether, but I mean, if that's something you want to do, that might be something you could look at and advertise to try to grow, short term, but I want to kind of appeal to a diverse audience. And then this little thing is kind of cool. It's a breakdown of, each hour block in that day. It has the days of the week. So it's got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then each hour of the day. And you can tell how many impressions you got, or you can change it up, get clicks, average click CPM. So your cost per million. But if I do clicks, It's not gonna show it. Okay. But it'll tell me my cost. So yeah, there's definitely a lot in here. And then on this screen here, over here, if you click on the ads, extensions, then ads, we get this here. This is the ad I did. This one was one that I was just kind of testing to see how you would go through and set it up, but I never actually went through and finalized it. This one, though, I did. Tells you the total number of impressions. I had almost 85,000 in just those 5 days, 725 views. Again, my view rate, my average CPV, so cost per view, and then total cost came out to be actually $18.60. So I probably could have let it run a little longer, but that is what it is. For me, it came out to be then $9.30. So I mean, close to that. Now this is cool, the earned views. Earned views is when someone has watched your video, your ad, so your views. So out of the 725, I had 17 people actually click on other videos of mine, which is pretty cool. So it's cool that you can track that and see, if your videos were good enough to where people would want to see other videos of yours. All right, that's just about it here. I just wanted to share all this. Maybe you can find something in this. You can advertise, strategize what you want to do, who you want to advertise to, how much money you want to spend, and make sure to use that promo code, because whatever you put in, it's going to match. So even if you've got $5, it'll make it 10, which will give you, good, value for everything. If you've got even more, you're looking to go big, spend 100 or up to the maximum 150, it's going to, double that. So definitely use this. It's worth your money to do so. I appreciate everything. If you guys can, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you thought. If you plan on using this strategy to actually pay YouTube to advertise for you, or if you are going to stay away from it, or maybe you'll do it in the future, let me know your thoughts. And again, you all have a great day.